This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Monday, July 20th, 2015, Europe's Impossible Dream. Remember the song, To Dream the Impossible Dream? I don't know who first sang it. I remember the Supremes sang it at one time when I was watching on TV, 1968, whatever. And Dr. Krugman basically points out that the idea of a unified currency without a unified government is an impossible dream. And it was terrible before it got started, and it's just as terrible now, and it's not going to get any better. One of the things he points out is that as bad as Greece is, right now they're claiming that Spain is on the road to success while it still has 22% unemployment. That's some recovery. And there are in terms of Europe, most of the smart people thought that only in the south end of Europe, where they didn't have a lot of manufacturing, that they were the ones to hurt. So Spain is hurting, Greece is hurting, we know that Portugal's been hurting, but now Finland, Denmark, and the Netherlands are all hurting. So what is a big thing about the European currency that really hurts individual countries from getting back on track once they've gotten, let's say, too far into debt? They can't devalue their currency because they don't have a currency. And devaluing the currency makes your goods cheaper overseas, makes it easy, makes tourism a lot better, and all of this has come on because of the euro. And of course, when it was first going out, everyone was saying, what could go wrong? You have a unified currency. The unified currency is good. You don't have to have exchanges every single time you go from France to Spain, or every single time you go from Norway to Switzerland, or anything like that. You have a unified currency, and it's across borders. We don't have to worry. We can have borders, but we don't have to secure the borders the same way we had before. You just go. You're there. People who work in Norway can now work in Spain. People who work in England can now work in Poland, vice versa, etc. Because it's a unified currency. I shouldn't have brought Great Britain in there because they still have the sterling. So on the outside, it sounded really good. Mobility, travel, entrepreneurship, new businesses, all of this kind of stuff. But the underlying economics of it all did not work. And it's very easy to see why. Again, it's difficult to have a unified currency. How can you possibly have a unified currency over, I think, 18, 20 countries, something like that? But you don't have a unified government for all of that. And it just is killing these individual ones. And the only way that the really smart people who wanted to get this whole thing going way back when, 20, 25 years ago, they're saying that the only solution for Greece, for Spain, for Portugal, for Ireland, Spain and Ireland, they played by the rules. It was the underlying bubble of the housing crisis that put them under, but their governments were operating extremely efficiently. But what is the response? The response is austerity, cut back, increase taxes, and then that entrepreneurial spirit will come back and everything will be hunky-dory. It hasn't even come remotely close to being true. It probably will not be coming close to being true, and good times are not in the future, especially for Greece.